All right. We'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for being here to the next Brand Ambassador Program session. Really excited to have you all. As a reminder, we are recording this session for those who aren't able to attend. A few people did email me and let me know that they weren't able to attend live, so we'll be emailing out after this session with the recording. Today, we're going to cover templates and downloadable resources. So Chris is going to lead this session, and then we have Mary Coder, who is our Senior Events Specialist with the Events Department. She is going to be giving a hands-on demonstration on how to implement the brand using Canva. I know many of you use Canva as a tool when developing flyers and graphics, so we hope you'll find that useful. And at the end, if you have any questions for us, we're going to do our best to answer them. If there are questions that we might not be able to answer, just because we're hoping to get the print shop on the call today, but unfortunately there was a conflict, we'll go ahead and reach out to you either via email or in the next session and answer those questions. I did want to say that we aren't going to touch on accessibility this session. Accessibility is really important in graphic design, however, but we do hope to have some guest presenters in an upcoming session to touch on accessibility best practices. I think that's it for me, and then I'm going to go ahead and introduce Chris Benham, who's going to lead the presentation.
Good morning, everybody. Glad to see you all again. This is our third Brand Ambassador meeting, and we appreciate all your attention to detail. A lot of good implementation out there, which is kind of what we're talking about today. We're talking about templates and resources. We're going to look at where to get them. And then at the end, we'd like this to be pretty interactive. We want you guys to come with specific questions to the templates. Hopefully you're using some of these and you know where to find them. So that's where we're going to start. These are going to allow you to create cohesive branded communications through all your print and digital means. And so we're going to get right into where to find them. First and foremost, csub.edu/brand should be bookmarked for all of you, hopefully by now. And this is where you're going to find the templates and resources. So at the upper right there, there's a link to templates and resources. If you click that, you'll be transported to the next page, which shows you all of the downloadable templates and resources. You're going to find letterhead here, PowerPoint templates, flyers, email signatures, all kinds of good stuff. And we're going to go through all of those right now. Print materials. You are going to reach out to the print shop. I'm sure that all of you know this by now, but the print shop is kind of our one-stop shop here on campus for letterhead, envelopes, and business cards. All of your, and in addition to lots of other things, they do invitations and brochures and anything printed that you need, posters and all kinds of good stuff. So shout out to our friends at the print shop. We work hand in hand with them on a daily basis, and they're well versed in all things brand as well. So if you have questions, you can reach out to them as well as us. We'll get right into letterhead. You can get letterhead in digital and printed format. Of course, you'll reach out to the print shop. And actually for digital, you will as well. Meilani creates these digital letterheads for us, and she's done a great job. I think she's well over 100 different versions of letterhead throughout the campus. There are two versions of this: primary horizontal version. So you can place your individual school or unit next to the logo with the vertical line. And the next version is the unit prominent version. Again, you can get these both in digital and print. We will save questions about letterhead. We get questions all the time about how to use them or how to customize them. So if you have those types of questions, we will address those at the end. Envelopes are also two versions. You'll reach out to the print shop for these as well. These are print only. These don't exist in digital. And there's two versions: the primary logo version, which allows you to put your department or unit underneath, and then the stacked logo version, which allows you to do that on the right side. Business cards, of course, most of you probably already have these, but you can reach out to the print shop for these. We've had a lot of requests for a version of the back with a white backing instead of the dark blue. So we've added that as an option. So I don't know if most of you probably aren't aware of this, but that is an option now to have a white backed version of the business card, and that would have the primary logo on the back with the blue text. PowerPoint presentations, those are also here. There's a dark and a light version. We just want to make sure that you're all using the proper template and not trying to customize them. We get a lot of requests for customizing these, like putting individual department unit logos or other school logos on these. And we just ask that if you want to do that, that's fine, but put those things in the footer or in the sub headline here on the title page as well. It's fine to customize these with text, but we'd like everyone to be using the primary university logo for these. One thing to note with these and some of the other digital formats that we have out there, you have to make sure you have the university fonts downloaded to your computer. And we're going to go over that in just a few slides, where to find those and how to do that. There are two versions of flyers out there as well. These are Microsoft Word format, so the fonts do come into play here with these. There's a bold version without a photo and a simple version with a photo. These are using all of the proper fonts, so it's really easy to download these, plug in your information, and either send it to the print shop for printing or distribute via email, via PDF, or any other format you'd like. Email signatures. There's two versions of this, also downloaded at the same spot on the website, the brand website. We see a lot of requests. First of all, we'll ask that you don't alter these at all. We want you to use the same fonts and colors and format as what's presented here. You can choose not to use the logo if you'd like. That's totally fine. But we've seen like people adding social media logos underneath, or department logos underneath, or even changing the primary university logo with unit or department logos. And we just ask that you don't do that. Let's keep this standard across the university. It makes us all look cohesive and gives us a formal look and feel. So we can address questions about this as well at the end. There's over 16 versions available for Zoom backgrounds on that site as well. We do a lot of custom Zoom backgrounds as well. So if you have a custom need or a custom event coming up, we're happy to do those, and we've done lots of those in the past as well, but encourage you to be using these. Same with mobile device backgrounds. Some mobile devices require different sizes, and sometimes you're doing an event, or maybe you would even like a unit or department logo for one of these. You can reach out to us and we can create custom mobile device backgrounds for you. Just reach out at brand@csub.edu. There are two versions of signage. The one on the left is really for bulletin boards, and the one on the right is for digital displays. The one on the right is in Photoshop format. So if I know a lot of you may not have excuse me, Photoshop. If you don't, we can create a template in Word for you, or PowerPoint, whichever is easiest. So just reach out to us. All of these things are customizable, and we can help you with specific needs. So reach out at any time. Same with social media cover photos. Right now, we just have Twitter and Facebook, but we understand that some of you are in other social channels, Instagram, for instance. So reach out to us for different sizes if you need them. Let's address fonts now, because we've been talking about them, a lot of those digital templates. You have the correct fonts installed, so this is where you find them: csub.edu/brand. And if you click visual identity, you'll see there's some sub navigation to the lower right there. Click on fonts, and all of the fonts will be listed. There you can with links. And then if you have trouble installing these, I know a lot of your computers you don't have admin rights to, just reach out to IT, and they can screen share with you and show you how to do it or do it for you. They're really good about that. quick review. I'm sure you all know what the university fonts are by now, but they are Oswald, Open Sans, and Academico. All available open source fonts. So hopefully you're all using them. We see a lot of actually really good uses of this and amongst all the other brand standards with all of you. So thanks for continuing to do that. And now we're going to get into a Canva demo with Mary Coder. So I know a lot of you use Canva for some of your flyers and other things. And I'm not well versed in Canva. Mary is like a professional in Canva. And so we've asked her to come on and help us here with a quick demo on how you can use the brand assets within Canva. So Mary, take it away.
Hi, everybody. I know most of you, but I think it would be presumptuous for me to think that everybody knows me. So as they introduced me before, my name is Mary Coder. I am the Senior Events Specialist in the Office of Events. We're lucky enough to work in the advancement division with Marcom. So we rely on them a lot for our design, for invitations and signage. And just like you guys, we use the print shop in the same way for design. But sometimes we need something a little bit faster, or maybe something that's just a little bit more low profile, something that, you know, I feel like I can do myself. And because I'm an event professional and not a graphic designer, I find Canva really easy for me to use to make these things, flyers, invitations, you know, header images for our Alma-based site. So I thought I would do just a quick run through of how I use it and how you can use some of the tools to make sure that your projects in Canva align to our brand standards. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Yes, I am. Okay. So this is Canva. If you guys are not familiar with it, it is not something you have to download. It's not a program that you need to pay for, although you can pay for it, and I'll get into that a little bit more. But it's just a website. So you go to canva.com, you put in your email address. You can use your CSUB email address to start an account. And this is what your dashboard will look like as soon as you start a new account. I actually started this account as an example. So it will look exactly like this when you start a new account. And you can actually put as many email addresses as you have. You can have that many accounts. You can have a private account for your home stuff, whatever you want to do. So one really useful thing to do in Canva is to use the brand tools. So they actually equip you with what you need in order to keep that stuff handy. Now, if you ever see anything with this little crown next to it, that means that it's a pro feature, meaning that you have to have the paid version of Canva to use that. So I don't know the specifics about using university funds to pay for a program like Canva. You'd need to check with procurement before you went and put that on your pro card or something like that. But I'm going to give you the tools to kind of get around this and use it, not the paid version, and kind of get some of the same functionality. So one thing that you can do with the free version that is in your brand tools kit is add brand colors. Now, I'm going to go to the brand site, just like Chris tells you to. I would definitely say bookmark it, get familiar with it. In order to get what our colors are, you just kind of go down to the popular resources, you click colors, and this gives you all of the codes for our exact CSUB colors. So on Canva, they do colors with a hex code. So to add that to our color palette, I'm just going to go in here, add a color, paste, and there you go. You can see that that is the correct color. If you put in any wrong letter or number, it's going to be a different color. So just do a little visual check to make sure it's looking like you'd like it to. And then I'm also going to do our yellow. So these are obviously the colors that you use the most. Those are our primary brand colors. Now, because this is not the pro version, it's the free version, you can only add 3 colors to your brand kit. If you had the pro version, you could add all of our secondary colors. Usually I like to keep the one that I think I'm going to use the most on there. So for me, the gray, I like to use it for text or backgrounds, things like that. All right, so I'll add this one too. And it looks like the right color to me. So you can see the little crown there means that if I wanted to add another color, I'd have to pay for it. So I have now my colors set. If you had the pro version, you could upload your logos right into here and set Oswald and Open Sans as your standard fonts. We can't do that, but I'll show you how we can still use those resources without setting them in our brand kit. So, oops, I did not want to do that. That was, you don't have to have the pro version. So I'm going to go back to my home. Now, when you want to start a new project, there's lots of different ways that you can get templates. If you wanted, oh, sorry about that. If you wanted to create your own design, start from scratch, you're more than welcome to do that. Again, that's going to be something that, you know, you're probably going to want to do after you have a little bit more experience with the system, but it's really easy to use. And there are also little tutorials that you can do on your own or just play around with it. But one way to start a design, I think I'd like to do a flyer. So I could just click on flyer and it pulls up a standard flyer size. And then it has all of these templates on the side that you can choose from. Now you can narrow it down, search colors, search events, search whatever it is that you want to use. For me, I think looking at this looks pretty good, like something we'd want to use. Now you might think, hey, this is already in our colors. I can just change out the text and make this mine. Actually, we can be sure that it is our correct brand colors. So when I click on this blue, it's going to show me up here that color. Because I put these into my brand kit, all of my brand colors are already here ready for me to use. And I can actually just change it to our standard color. I can do the same thing with the yellow. So it makes it really easy having those in there to change at any time. If you wanted to use one of the secondary colors and it's not in your brand kit, you can do that too. All you have to do is just hit the plus sign there, put that hex code in, and it'll put it into your document colors right here. So then you can click it from there. So now it's in our brand colors, but obviously other things are wrong with this. So if you'd like to change the photos, which you probably should, because these aren't our students and we don't know who these people are, you can actually download photos from our Flickr page and use those on Canva, and I will show you how to do an upload here in just a second. Obviously, we're not Borsell University, so I'm going to take out this logo and add ours in instead. And just like Chris did before, we can get the logos here by accessing our brand page. So you go into logos, and then you scroll down. Oh, wait, scroll up, maybe, and you can download them. It'll open up a box folder. You have your primary and your stacked. For this one, you could see that it was like a kind of a long logo. So I'm going to use one of our primary logos. And here you can see all the different choices that we have. In this case, I'm going to use the one with the trademark and PNG, because in this case on our logo page, the PNG means it doesn't have a background. And because I'm using our yellow background, it's going to be perfect for that. So I just go in here and I download it. Easy peasy. I'm going to go back to my project. And this is actually the kind of, you can see that I was practicing before. So I've uploaded this logo a couple times, but it's really easy to do. Just go to upload files. You can upload audio, you can upload videos if that's something you're doing, if it's for the web or something. Just go ahead and put this on here and it loads it right into my Canva. Now, as you can see, because I did these before, they're still here. So even though I wasn't able to upload those fonts into my brand kit, the fact that I uploaded them into my Canva account means that I can access them at any time from my uploads tab. So it's not even really that much of a bigger step to just go into your uploads and you can see them. If you wanted to, you could preload all of your different logos in there. So that way you have access to them and you can kind of choose which one you think works best for your project. And when you want to add it to your project, all you need to do is just slide it over. Really easy, just drag and drop. And size it accordingly. Make sure that you follow the brand standards with the spacing. I'm not going to do all that right now, but make sure you do that. So we've now changed the colors. We've changed out the logo. If you wanted to change the picture, you can do the same thing. So all you need to do is, take it out and put in another one. You can also do a replace of it, kind of just the same way that you would do like on Publisher or something like that. So now you can see that their chosen font is not our font. So the good thing about Canva is that it does have Oswald and Open Sans already as font options. So you don't need to download them to your computer to have them available. They're right here on Canva. So because this is a header, I would probably change it to Oswald. And you can just go in and change all of the fonts. For the body, All you need to do is search Open Sans. And it'll come right up. There's all the different versions of it. We use the regular one. So do that. And then obviously this is not our text. So you would go in and change your text. So if you find a template that you think can work with what you're doing, the easiest thing to do is just go in, make sure it aligns to our brand standards, and then add your own information. Again, you can choose something that is totally different and go in and do the same thing, or you can start from scratch. I use this a lot to make invitations and flyers for events. So that's about all I was going to show you. So if you have any questions about it, oh wait, I do have one more thing. When you're ready to print it, Meilani in the print shop, or if you have a printer in your office, you can print from Canva. You just need to go to the share and you can download it. And it gives you all of these different ways to download it, whichever form you need. If you're going to print it, this one says best for printing. So I would guess maybe download that one to send to Meilani and she can print it for you. Or you can download it into a regular PDF. You can download it into a JPG if you're going to put it into an email. So, and then it saves it right to your computer. You can also send a link for people to go into Canva and either edit or view your things. I find that it's just easier to send out some version of my project, ask for edits, and then go in and make them myself rather than having so many hands in my project. But that's, again, your kind of personal thing. So that's it. And when you go back to your home page, it will show you your recent projects. So anything that you've worked on recently will show up right here on your main page, and you'll be able to access it pretty easily. You can put them into different folders if you'd like. I think for the non-pro version, you can do 2 folders. For the pro version, I think it's unlimited. So that should be it. I'm gonna unshare, well, maybe I'll leave my screen up in case somebody has a question on Canva, but does anybody have a question? No. Okay.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just curious. I put some remarks about about what Chris said, about getting a pro version. If we get a pro version, now this is maybe a question. Well, it's a question for you, but perhaps it's one that maybe we should first get it approved by procurement. But if we pay for it, is there a way to share a template? Like, let's say you did all this work. Thank you so much, Mary. And then now I want to use that as a template for my own flyer. How would I get, go about getting that? Can you share?
I can try. So I usually work solo on this. So
Okay.
I don't share it very often. I know there is a way to share it. I think you can add people to your team. So you can create a team if somebody else has a Canva account, you can add them to your team, and then you should be able to share things back and forth. So you can create a team right here. And then you could call it CSUB IT services or whatever you want to call it, and then add that person, and then you should all be able to access the same designs. So the person who made the design it's kind of like Google Drive or Google Pages, where the person who started the thing can make it editable or just view only. I don't have anybody to add, so I can't really show you, but you can do that. You can make a team and then share it with everybody on your team. I know that Ezra, I think, has used the Teams feature before.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, if you have any more questions for me or you get into the system and there's something that's confusing to you, just let me know. I actually really find it to be super user-friendly and super easy to figure out, but there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube. You can find them on the page itself. And I think the best advice I have is just play around with it and have fun. Thanks.
Thank you, Mary.
Good job, Mary. And don't let her fool you. Mary does have design skills for sure. So you do some really good stuff. And the rest of you, it's Canva, well, I don't use it. I know it's a really great tool, and Mary just showed you how to make it work with our brand guidelines. And it seems really simple and easy to use. So I would definitely recommend using it if you need something designed rather quickly and you don't have time. So thanks, Mary. I'm going to go back to share my screen. And we're going to go to the next. Hopefully everyone remembers this, our monthly contest that we've called Beautiful Branding Contest. This month we had 5 shining examples of people submitting work that's beautifully branded. It's super hard to choose a winner every month, but we want to introduce this month's winner to you all. And that's Jorge Villatoro. He designed a really nice Title IX flyer. We love the simplicity of this, the fact that he used the stacked version of the Equity, Inclusion, and Compliance logo with the trademark because he was printing it. All the fonts are nice. Everything's lined up properly. And then he got creative with the graphic at the bottom, which we love to see as well. You know, the brand style guide isn't meant to limit creativity. It just gives you kind of a scale of which to work. So we definitely want you guys to be creative, but just the brand guidelines to do so. And this is a perfect example of that. So congrats, Jorge. You are winning a $50 Amazon gift card. And we'll just continue to encourage you all to submit entries every month. I've seen a lot more entries than are being submitted, and I know you guys are doing great work out there. So we just ask that you continue to send your work in on a monthly basis. We'll accept the entries until the day before the next meeting. So you have a month to do so. So send in your stuff to brand@csub.edu. Now we'll open it up to questions. I know you guys have to have questions on these templates. Let's see, I'll monitor the chat as well, but feel free to come off mute and ask any questions, and we'll answer them as best we can. If we can't, Melani's not on the call, unfortunately, this time, but we can get her available and we can answer or address these one-on-one if we need to on a one-on-one basis. There has to be questions. Come on, guys.
Hey, Mary, I have a question. I haven't dug into Canva that much. Do they have dimensions for, making graphics for social media posts or that sort of thing?
Yeah, so they do have like set, like I wanted to say templates for all those different kinds of things, Facebook stories, Instagram posts that have the dimensions already loaded in. Again, I hate to talk about the pro version again. I use the pro version in my everyday life, so that's why I know so much about it. But in the pro version, you can actually resize any item that you have to any size that you want. But barring that, if you just have the free version, you can go through all the different types of templates that they have, and there's a ton, and find one that the size fits whatever it is that you're trying to make.
Do you know how much the pro version is?
I think it's like, I want to say like $12 a month or something.
Yeah,
and
that's nothing. Yeah.
And again, I don't know if, I have the pro version personally that I pay for that I use in my personal life. We'd need to check with procurement before you went and put anything like the pro version of this on your pro card.
Right. Okay, thanks.
I'm looking at sorry, this is Pierre. I just wanted to interject here real quick. I looked at a previous request and it looked like it was $179, about $180 per year. But it might have dropped to like $12 a month, which would be what, $144, right? A year.
Yeah, so it sounds like Canva is pretty affordable. So if it does get approved by Solutions Consulting, I think it's a great resource. I've used it in my career. I'm not a graphic designer. And honestly, your audience usually does not know if you made the graphic from scratch or from a template in Canva. As long as it looks good, it looks good. Any other questions about templates or about Canva?
question about like the email signatures. So I know you guys mentioned that you don't want like the social media stuff included on the signatures. Is there any way you would recommend to include that? Like, let's say on a general org account, like we do like the liberal studies org account. And so it's not tied to any one of us individually, but I know I had put it in there just so that students are aware that we have social media, but is there any way that you would recommend to implement that?
Yeah, so and the reason for that is just to have cleanliness in our email signatures across campus. We're not really going around and, if we see it, telling people to remove them or anything. Whereas when we see people using the wrong logo in the email signature, we usually do reach out and ask them to correct that. My recommendation just for cleanliness is using it as a link. So if you see the email signature, there's a place where you can put a URL. So what I've seen people do is, put like Facebook and like maybe like a little circle or a line, and then Instagram and Twitter, and then just linking those words. I think it's a little bit cleaner. And then also when you, one of the things about having an image in your or an icon in your email signature, which I know we do have the option for a logo, we have an option to not use the logo, is that some people, depending on their email platforms that they use and their preferences and settings, sometimes the image automatically doesn't come up because it's like seen as spam or something. And so sometimes your icon will come up as broken anyway. So this kind of prevents that.
See something in the chat from Amy Ressler. She says Canva offers a free pro account for small nonprofits. You have to apply for it. So if you work with an org like that, maybe look into applying for one. Thanks, Amy. That's a good idea. Any other questions? Okay, well, you can reach out to us one-on-one. I think I'll just mention one more thing, and it's something that I've been tasked with this summer, but we're doing a campus-wide brand audit for signage, and it would be to have your help. We've done a couple of campus tours already, gone into every building on every floor and just taken photos and things of signage that is either out of brand compliance or old or weathered or whatever it may be. So if you guys have signage that's old in your specific areas, it'd be great to take pictures of those and send them to the brand email address. Obviously, we're not going to be able to see everything that's out there. So you're great in trying to assess what's out there and what needs to be replaced.
Great. So I see a question in the chat. Will the campus be helping to replace it? So when we did the rebrand, we talked about this with cabinet, and it was decided that the major signage would be taken care of by facilities, things like the water tower and whatnot, but kind of the smaller signage, it would be up to the departments as budget allows. But we do have a small budget for some rebrand expenses that we have been using when we see areas where the department isn't able to fund it. So we don't have a lot of dollars, so we're not able to offer it as a blanket, for everybody across campus. But as we're getting these outdated brand projects are coming to our attention, and we realize that the department doesn't have any funding, we're using those strategically as we can. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you all so much for your time. We'll see you next time. We're really excited, and we'll send out a recap email with the recording for those who weren't able to attend. Feel free to email us if you have any questions. And again, don't forget to submit your beautiful branding submissions. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. See you next time.
Thank you.